So the way that Citigroup's model being part of Citibank and Citigroup, you had Citigroup owning Citibank, and then you had Travelers, and you had Salams with Barney. I worked for Salams with Barney. So that was kind of the securities capital markets driver. But we could have our clients access Citibank from everything from credit cards to Citibank Private Bank. And so it was amazing. Like Jeremy Nestel, he was the Australian head of Citibank Private Bank out of Sydney, but he would fly to Brisbane to see my clients and to participate one-on-one with me in a client pitch, and we were very successful. And then he even invited my mum and my partner to dinner. This is what they would do, and they wouldn't think of it as, like an extension of like just being a chore, but they would see it as just a part of working with their junior up and coming staff, and relaying to them that you can email us, feel free. You can pick up your mobile and call my mobile. That's okay. You don't have to run through my EA, and that type of business model made Citi very successful in Australia. In a nutshell, we went in 2001 from hardly any market share to, by about 2005, we were top 5 institutional broker in Australia. We had most of the big legacy listed companies as clients. I ended up getting 4 of the 6 founders of Flight Centre as personal clients. I ended up getting the Treasury Department of Flight Centre as an institutional listed company client, and they would buy, listed convertible bonds. And again, that's an extension of learning from older experts within the franchise. There was a fellow called Barry Ziegler, I'll never forget him, out of Melbourne, who was a fixed income specialist. And he said, mate, just ask your clients up there, just say, what do they do with like their total transaction value? Do they just throw it in the bank that they've had for 30 years, that they've got a private bank relationship manager looking after them, earning no interest? If they're with Commonwealth Bank, maybe they'd like some Commonwealth Bank convertible bonds, and they'll get 90 basis points or better above the 90-day bank bill swap rate. It's liquid. You can sell it like a stock. They get their cash back in a few days, and it's great for treasury management. Their treasury desk becomes a profit center for their company. And, I took it in like a Dyson vacuum cleaner. And I'd speak to people like Jim Goldberg at Flight Centre. He was the founding CFO. And he said, mate, yeah, you got me. We never thought about this, And so the thing is, I ended up getting introduced through him to some of the other bigger. He had several million shares in Flight Centre, some of the larger co-founders, that he had. I won't mention their names, but everyone in Australia knows who the really big few guys in Flight Centre, and I knew them really well. And they introduced me to their treasury team, and I said to them, we've got, your account set up. You can buy some for your company account. You can buy, 5 million Australian dollars worth of Commonwealth Bank of Australia convertible bonds if you're interested, or Westpac Bank convertible bonds. And this is how they trade, and keep it really simple, and the toes in the water. They ended up having huge books, and I mean like huge books. Their TTV deposit accounts were well over $250 million. And this is 20 years ago, and that's big money. And so by about 2007, there was the GFC and all of that, but my client base was very insulated. I had less than 400 total accounts, and you might get one guy who has his wife, his 2 children, so the gross number was probably about 200 active trading accounts, and then some bundled accounts. Then I was looking after intermediaries, building societies, where they could use us if they're a financial planner in a tier 2 city somewhere in remote Queensland, Cairns, Rockhampton, Townsville. They could just route their orders through the desk of Citigroup. We would do their trading for them, and send them reports in a professional way so they could focus on financial planning for their end client who we didn't really communicate with, right? And then we could split and rebate the commission quarterly in arrears or monthly in arrears every couple of weeks after the end of the concluding month.